Akira's episode 2 is where the quiet gears of conspiracy start to grind loud. This episode ties together shadow magic, a cursed hero legacy, political manipulation, and the fallout of a leader's death, and it shows how Akira's cold, methodical approach makes him both dangerous and useful. We open with shadow magic, Akira's extra skill, being used and drained. The group notes how powerful but costly it is, great strength at a terrible fuel cost and with poor control. An elder or mentor warns Akira not to overuse it, but it's obvious Akira already pushes past caution when necessary. That selfish, invisible skill is both his advantage and a ticking liability. After the fight, he's rewarded with a strange sword said to be made by the first hero. But it's not given to the true hero, it's handed to Akira to avoid the king's scrutiny. That detail is subtle world building. The hero is a public figure monitored by the crown, and items tied to hero myths carry political weight. Akira accepts the blade without ceremony. He's a tool, not a symbol, and he doesn't want the spotlight. The episode reveals a darker current, the hero curse. There's a ritualistic phrase and hints that someone has been manipulating people with magical compulsion. Evidence points to the palace and a string of betrayals. The group's captain, Saran, appears to have been sacrificed or set up, and fingers immediately start to point at Akira. Suspicion spreads fast, training absences, odd behavior, and circumstantial moments feed the crew's fear. It's a believable panic. When a leader is dead, humans seek a culprit to steady their nerves. Then we get the political reveal. The assassination faction Yogarasu, an elite royal hit squad, is implicated. They are ruthless and acting under the king's orders, or at least in his interest. Someone inside the palace is using curses and staged crimes to manufacture a pretext for war. The plan seems to be create chaos, blame outsiders, or summon students and justify political moves like invading the eastern lands. The students are pawns in a larger chessboard. That's why Akira and a few allies must escape. A trusted contact, Jilda Japanese letter, warns Akira that he's being targeted and helps prepare an exit. The labyrinth becomes a refuge where leveling up is the pragmatic answer. Dive deeper into dungeons, fight tougher bosses, and raise profession levels so the class can survive political games. The show uses the dungeon rules, especially the no entry or exit from a boss room until one side dies, to make stakes concrete. Growth is grounded in action, not vague power-ups. Academically, Episode 2 also explains mechanics, boss rooms, level thresholds, and the idea that reaching level 100 unlocks life-saving special skills. That gives the group a long-term plan, grind for power. Akira's shadow magic, if trained, could eventually hide more than presence. It could erase smell, sound, even body heat. The path to survival is brutal but clear. Emotionally, the episode humanizes the cast. We see small domestic moments, cooking, checking on injured teammates, jokes about home, which contrast with the palace's political rot. Those moments matter, they make the betrayal feel more personal and the stakes more painful. Akira's reluctance to be noticed, the skill that made him invisible back home, now forces him into the visible center. He never asked for leadership, but people look to him when systems fail. Key turning points to emphasize in the video. Shadow magic's limits and potential, powerful, inefficient, and dangerous if abused. The gift of the first hero's sword, symbolic politics. The crown monitors items tied to hero myths. The hero's curse and the palace's manipulation. Someone is using compulsion and murder to shape public will. Saran's death and the resulting blame game. Panic and scapegoating put Akira in immediate danger. Yogarasu's role, the royal assassination unit, complicates escape and forces urgent action. Jilda's warning and the escape plan, allies within the system matter. Dungeon rules and progression. The gamey logic of boss rooms and level caps drives the party's strategy. Personal moments, small scenes of care and homeburn reveal what the students fight to protect. Why this episode shifts the series forward. Episode 2 turns vague mystery into active conspiracy. The stakes are no longer just beating monsters and returning home, they are surviving a court that will weaponize heroes and summon students for political ends. Akira's invisible nature and cold pragmatism are suddenly useful in a world where the crown watches symbols and deploys assassination as policy. The show frames power as both mechanical levels, skills, boss mechanics, and political curses, propaganda, palace orders. Narrative threads to watch next. How will Akira train shadow magic safely? The hints suggest huge upside if he masters the fuel problem. Who in the royal circle benefits from war? The clues point to a plan to manufacture conflict with the East. Can the group avoid being used as pawns while they grind for levels? Their moral choices will matter as much as their power. What consequences will Saran's death trigger among local factions? Vengeance, cover-ups, and revenge are likely. A closing thought for the video. Episode 2 teaches us that the game systems are only one layer. Beneath them, power is decided by who controls narratives and symbols. Akira's skill set makes him an outsider turnkey player, dangerous, underestimated, and increasingly central to both survival and the bigger political game.